The start of the movie introduces us to the two main protagonists, Elena and Peyton. Elena Winters is married to Barry, a pastor at their local church. Barry is an advocate of anti-LGBTQ movements, supported by the family friend Millie and her husband. As the pastor's wife, Elena is expected to be supportive of her husband's cause. But for Elena, she has no personal issues with the group. Even their teenage son Nash knows it's not worth it to join such causes. He's more content spending time with his girlfriend Tori. Sometimes, when Elena looks at her son and his girlfriend, she wonders how lucky her son is to have found love at such a young age, and to be free to choose who he can love. Meanwhile, Peyton Lombard, a successful author, is currently mourning the loss of her mother. As she looks at the dollhouse she used to play with, she remembers those moments when her mother would tell her she could arrange her life the way she wanted it, just as she could move the pieces inside the dollhouse. Wave, Peyton's friend, is present at the memorial service and shows great support for her friend. Just then, Peyton says she'll go for a swim. When things get too much, Peyton gets her much-needed reprieve from swimming, as the calm waters soothe her troubled mind. Elena and Barry have been trying to conceive for some time to give Nash a younger sibling, though it's Barry who wants it more than Elena. She feels like something is missing in her life, and she doesn't share the same enthusiasm Barry has for trying to get pregnant. The pressure is slowly creeping into her mind, making her feel a little suffocated. One day, when Millie asks her if she'll meet them in the church, Elena says she is busy and has other important things to do. To her surprise, Millie dismisses her concern, saying she has everything in their house running smoothly because of God's support, so she should still be able to attend the service. She also adds that Elena is undermining Barry's work by not supporting him and, in a way, God. The tense conversation stops when Barry arrives. Later, Elena tells her husband that she has had her period. She reminds him that maybe they're trying too hard. He agrees, adding that they should pray to God to bless them with another child. Feeling disappointed, Elena walks away from her husband. Then she discovers Millie has overheard their conversation, making her more upset. This is another thing that's slowly creating a wedge in their relationship. Elena feels like she's being cajoled into all of Barry's religious beliefs and gender issues, even if she doesn't want to be a part of them. On the other hand, Peyton is still dealing with the loss of her mother. She was the pillar of her life, and she taught her many things growing up. She still looks at their pictures, reminiscing about their time together. She has kept quiet for the past few days, worrying about her friends and relatives. She receives a voicemail from her aunt, reminding her of the things left by her mother at the nursing home. With no choice, Peyton decides to put her energy into dealing with this matter. To ease her disappointment with Barry, Elena goes to her friend, Tyler. Tyler is a celebrity love guru. He specializes in soulemetry, or the event when two complete strangers are brought together by fate to form a romantic relationship. He has helped a lot of people find their twin flames, has written a book about it, and records testaments from those he helped. He advocates that all people are craving and encompassing love that only a twin flame can give, no matter the differences in social status or gender, and it's his mission to help them find their soulmate. Tyler is well aware of Elena's dilemma about trying to conceive. He tells her that maybe this is a sign that she and Barry should adopt. He also adds that Barry has never been Elena's twin flame, which may have contributed to her lack of anticipation for conceiving a child. Elena greatly considers this, as she's not up to getting pregnant again, at least not yet. So, after her visit to Tyler, she goes straight to the community center to inquire about the adoption process. Inside the community center, Peyton asks where she can inquire about the process of removing her late mother's things. An attendant gives her a list of paperwork, and then she walks to the woman who seems to be rummaging through her bag, looking for something. That woman is Elena, and she is looking for her keys, which mysteriously disappeared. It's not explained how she lost the keys, or how Peyton particularly found them. But from their first encounter, their strong chemistry is evident. It shows when Peyton asks Elena if she's okay, because she thinks the latter looks stressed, which could not have been because of her lost keys. On the other hand, Elena recognizes Peyton as a famous author, but she feels like Peyton is the kind of person she can share her burdens with. From their small talk, we learn that Elena used to be a photographer, and that Peyton has been wanting to meet a photographer as part of writing her book. They exchange calling cards. Even though they don't say it, each woman secretly hopes they can meet each other again. None of them expects that this opportunity will come sooner. One night, Wave brings Peyton to a party, hosted by the love guru Tyler Montague. The party is attended by people who are looking for love. Tyler encourages them that their soulmates might be beside them, but they shouldn't only look for what physically attracts them. He tells his guests to listen to what their souls are yearning for, because their higher self will always direct them to the right person. After his speech, the guests treat themselves to some appetizers and then start mingling with each other. Peyton looks around and is surprised to see Elena. They greet each other, and from their looks, it's clear they are happy to see each other again. To Elena, meeting Peyton again feels like it's meant to be, especially after Tyler's speech earlier. They grab some drinks and start a conversation. Elena learns that Peyton used to be married and also wanted a child of her own, but things never worked out between her and her partner, and at the same time, she was taking care of her ailing mother. They divorced, and she has been single since then. Elena is a bit taken aback to find out Peyton is lesbian, while Peyton seems a bit unsure how Elena will take it. Elena starts babbling and weakly ends her words by saying she doesn't want Peyton to think it's a problem for her. Peyton doesn't mind. In fact, she's amused with Elena and doesn't feel any judgment from her. Wave walks to them, and there's a knowing look on her face after seeing her friend talking to another attractive woman. Elena excuses herself, saying she needs to go home as she has an early start the next day. She explains that her husband is a pastor, which clarifies a lot of things for Peyton. Elena says goodbye and expresses her wish to see Peyton again. In the next scene, we see Elena, Nash, and his girlfriend Tori sitting around the table. Nash is complaining about why he needs to attend the Bible study, which is only a front for his father's anti-LGBTQ sentiments. Before Elena can answer, Barry walks in, unaware of their topic. When the phone rings, Barry answers it and then gives it to Elena, as the caller is looking for his wife. Then he gestures for Nash and Tori to come with him to the Bible study. Elena is surprised to find out it's Peyton who's calling her. Peyton tells her that she's working on a project called Women's Glory, and she's thinking of hiring a photographer to work on it. Elena may be the right fit for the project, and this can be an excuse to get closer to her. She asks Elena if she can see her portfolio, to which the latter agrees. The next day they meet at the park, where Elena shows Peyton her folder of previous works. The majority of her works showcase portrait photos, and Peyton can see Elena's artistic flair. She especially likes the one with the silhouette of a woman, and it happens to be Elena's self-portrait. Then they talk more about Peyton's project and how it was inspired by her late mother. By the end of their conversation, Peyton invites Elena to her house to discuss further the details of their work project. Sunday comes, and Elena is on time. As she walks around the room, she sees one of Peyton's books. It's an autobiography about agoraphobia, which is how she learns about Peyton's fear. Elena suggests changing her author photo because the current one doesn't do her justice. She says Peyton can consider it a gift. For the next few days, they spend some time bonding, allowing them to grow closer to each other. Elena invites Peyton to picnics with Tyler and his wife, her son Nash, and Tori. To others, they look like friends who share a lot of common things, but those stolen glances they give each other mean more than just a simple friendship. Elena and Peyton also spend some nights drinking wine and simply talking about life. Elena opens up about her upbringing and her married life. She says her father was old school, while her mother was a devout Catholic. This may have contributed to her unaddressed feelings of not being able to express herself fully. When talking about Barry, she admits that she was happy with him at first. But as the years go by, she starts questioning whether something is wrong with her. Why doesn't she feel like the others do? Why doesn't she feel fulfilled as others expect? These questions lead her to believe she may not have been in love with her husband at all, and that their marriage is a series of compromises where she doesn't get anything. Then she asks Peyton about her life. Peyton jokes about not caring whether she meets another lesbian in her life, which makes Elena laugh. But on a serious note, she's being honest when she says all she ever wants is a baby of her own. This makes Elena feel a certain connection with her. As promised, Elena prepares a photo shoot to take new author photos for Peyton. While setting up the lighting equipment, Elena asks how she knew she was a lesbian. Peyton answers the same way Elena knew she was straight, but she gives a more serious answer. She reveals she tried dating men before, and then fell head over heels in love with a woman. A photographer too, Peyton says, which makes Elena suddenly clumsy. Then Peyton asks her if she ever had any girl crushes or secret affairs. Elena admits that, with her upbringing, it never even crossed her mind. But as she gets closer to Peyton, the thought becomes clearer in her mind. Peyton can also feel the tension between them. She's more experienced in these kinds of situations. She knows that whatever is between her and Elena is more than just a simple friendship. She can see that Elena is affected by her presence the same way Elena affects her. The only thing that controls her emotions is the fact that Elena is married. It's a situation she doesn't want to involve herself in. Yet she finds it hard to fight it the more she spends time with Elena. In the next few days, it becomes certain just how much Peyton affects Elena's life. It comes to light when, One night, as she hangs around in the kitchen while Elena is cooking, Tori points out that she never heard her whistling a tune. In fact, Elena seems to be chirpy as of late. Elena dismisses Tori's observations, but the girl is an intelligent observer. She immediately catches on when Elena asks her if she knows any lesbians, and points out this may have something to do with her new lesbian friend Peyton. Tori thinks it's none of her business, but she tells Elena that Barry doesn't like his wife's newfound friendship with a lesbian, given his prejudice. Nash comes in. Overhearing the conversation, he assures his mother that his father grumbles over nothing. He adds that he finds it cool that his mother has found other things to focus on aside from church. Elena feels a bit unsettled, worried that her deepest feelings may become more pronounced. Tori continues to talk, mentioning a famous talk show host, explaining how straight women nowadays are becoming braver in exploring their sexuality. This makes Elena clumsier than normal, but she hides her worries under the guise of adoring their teenage bickering. She hugs Nash and Tori, who are none the wiser about Elena's inner turmoil. Elena is not the only one battling with her emotions. Peyton is also worried about the situation. She calls Wave and asks her what she should do. Wave has always been direct and honest with her, which she really appreciates. Wave zeroes in on the situation. A lonely housewife meets a fascinating lesbian, and then sparks fly. The only way to deal with this is to honestly address it within themselves, because no matter what she says, only Peyton and Elena can do something about it. But Peyton is against this. She's afraid that discussing what is going on will only make matters worse. Instead, she says she'll go out of town to do a side project. She will intentionally make herself less available, or better yet, make herself unavailable, so that whatever feelings have developed between her and Elena will fade. Wave is not a fan of this idea, but she hopes it will work out for her friend. Peyton follows through with her plan. Things seem to be going well. One day, however, while she's relaxing beside the pool, she gets an unexpected visit from Elena. The latter has brought the pictures from the last photo shoot. Elena is complimenting how good Peyton looks in the photos. But sensing Peyton's surprise, Elena realizes she should have called first. She is about to leave when Peyton says she doesn't mind, and that this visit is as good a time as any. She invites Elena inside, while she gets dressed. Peyton is panicking. As she frantically puts on her clothes, she rehearses the words she would tell Elena. She has made up her mind to cut any connections with her by pointing out that she's married, and she's straight. Peyton comes out, but she's still nervous. Elena doesn't seem to notice Peyton's discomfort, at least not yet, but Peyton starts the conversation. She first says that she's a lesbian, and both of them know that. Next, she points out that Elena's straight, and more so, a married woman, which makes things complicated because she likes her more than she should. Peyton says they should spend less time together, but Elena adamantly refuses this idea. She tells Peyton she likes her too. They need each other, and she's confident they can get around this situation. Elena understands what she's trying to say, so she promises Peyton that she can have all of her, except for the romantic physical aspect. Peyton is still unsure, but when she looks at Elena, who begs her not to leave, she gives in. We see Barry continuing his sermon about the LGBTQ group. He refers to them as children of God who have lost their way. He also says their deviant actions are enough reasons not to allow these people the sacrament of marriage. Elena can't stand the bigotry that Barry preaches anymore. She walks out, earning confused glances from others and resentment from Barry. After the sermon, he confronts his wife about what happened earlier. But Elena simply says she already knows about his speech. Nash jumps to his mother's defense. He's tired of his father's partiality, especially because he knows Barry is only doing this because Millie is the main sponsor of the church and she wants him to preach what she believes. Elena becomes more distant in her relationship with Barry, as she learns more about relationships with lesbians. At first, she keeps denying to herself that she's not attracted to women and that she's not a lesbian. But she can't explain away her feelings for Peyton and why she won't want her to go away. Even Barry is noticing his wife's strange behavior. In the end, Elena gives in to her thoughts. She goes to Peyton's house and initiates a passionate kiss. As it turns out, their conversation has opened a whole new avenue for Elena to explore her feelings, and that kiss is like a trigger for her to want more from Peyton, and not just the compatibility they obviously have. Even during her husband's sermons, Elena's mind drifts off to things that Barry will consider sinful temptations. Tori and Nash start to take notice of Elena's behavior as well. Eventually, Elena asks Peyton to make love to her. Peyton warns her that once they do the deed, there's no going back. Still, Elena insists, and so, the two of them share their first time making love to each other. In the midst of the act, Peyton asks her to stay with her. This turning point in their relationship has made them both giddy, like they've been given a new lease on life. This is especially true for Elena. She visits Tyler and tells him she's in love for the first and only time in her life. Tyler is happy that Elena is getting what she deserves, as he really thinks Barry is not meant for her. He is excited as he tells her to spill all the details of her new venture into love. Meanwhile, Peyton, equally happy, shares what happened to Wave. Wave is in two minds. She remembers telling Peyton to go for what makes her happy, but creating a relationship with a married, straight woman was not what she meant back then. Elena and Peyton keep their relationship a secret, except from their trusted friends. They have found sexual satisfaction in each other, and, for now, are content with the way things are. One morning, as they share a hearty breakfast, Peyton asks Elena if she and her husband still engage in intimate relations. Elena reveals Barry hasn't touched her for a while, and their relationship is not as it was back then. And then Elena tells Peyton that she and her family are going on a vacation to Hawaii. It's their annual vacation, so she can't simply refuse to go. Peyton is understandably upset. It irks her to think that Elena and Barry can reignite their relationship with this vacation. She knows from the start that this is wrong, yet her feelings always cloud her best judgments. She knows that sooner, they will have to do it. Elena assures her that whatever will happen will mean nothing, but Peyton knows better. For now, she has no choice but to accept the fact that she is the mistress in the relationship. Peyton decides to send letters even while Elena is on vacation. She details her feelings for her and recounts the moments they shared. Even after Elena returns, she continues sending the letters. Elena treasures them the most and keeps them hidden in her dresser. However, things take a turn for the worse when Nash and Tori discover the letters. Nash was looking for aspirin when he found them. He is upset by his mother's betrayal, and this will affect him in the coming days. Keeping a secret partner takes a toll on Elena. She finds it hard to meet Peyton because of her duties, and she gets in more fights with Barry. It's clear that Barry is upset because lately, he feels like he's the only one present in this marriage. Yet Elena remains passive and distant to him, even when he voices out his frustrations. On the other hand, Elena still hasn't found the courage to break things off with Barry. She has a lot to consider, but leaving Peyton is not an option. Once she finds the chance, she goes to her lover and makes up with her. She reiterates that nothing happened between her and Barry, which makes Peyton relieved. Because of her dilemma, she doesn't notice that her son, Nash, is having a downward spiral. Barry finds out that Nash has cut classes. When he confronts his son, Nash lashes out at him. He even sneers that his father has no idea what is happening in his own house. Frustrated, Barry waits for Elena to come home. He then confronts his wife, telling her to talk to Nash as he's becoming more unmanageable. He points out Elena's continuing absence in the house, and she needs to make up for it. Nash hears his parents arguing. To ease his troubles, he steals liquor from a store and runs off to a nearby cliff. There, he tries to drink his problems away. Even though he doesn't like what his father preaches, he acknowledges that he shouldn't have said hurtful words to him. As for his mother, he remembers what Tori said, that she's only following her heart. But why does it come with the price of hurting him and potentially breaking up his family? Nash has always supported his mother, but her affair with Peyton shattered his trust. Oblivious to this, Elena and Peyton continue to share sweet moments until Peyton receives a call. It is Tori who has correctly deduced that Elena is with her at that moment. She relates what happened to her son. Nash went back to the store to steal again, and he got caught. When the owner found out that his father was a pastor, he was let go. But now he's facing his father's reprimands. Upon knowing this, Elena immediately gets up and rushes back home. When his mother enters his room, Nash immediately lets her know that he knows about her affair. Elena tries to reprimand him for going through her things, but he pushes on. He wants her to know how hurt he is because of her betrayal. He even liked Peyton before. He adds that even if he doesn't like his father, he doesn't deserve to be betrayed like this. He's worried about his father's reputation when the fact that his wife is sleeping with a lesbian comes to light. Elena tries to explain, and at one point she gets angry with Nash, but she realizes he's in pain, and he's suffering. She finally admits that she doesn't know what to do, but she clarifies one thing with him. She's never cheated on Barry before this, but she's never loved him. She's only staying in this marriage for Nash's sake. After this confrontation, Elena goes to the bedroom, where Barry is already waiting. She knows that an argument is inevitable, and the only thing she can do is delay it. She either avoids his questions or doesn't give a truthful answer. Elena goes to Tyler for advice. She's more conscious of her actions, and it pains her that she has hurt her family because of her affair. At this point, she doesn't know if she can bear losing everything she has and destroying everything she knows. Tyler tells her that she can't change the past, but she can do something about the future. He reiterates that Peyton brings out the life in her, the passion and romance. Only she and Peyton can resolve this. So Elena meets Peyton at the park. She kisses her ardently, not even caring whether anyone sees them. Unbeknownst to them, Millie is jogging in their direction. She sees Elena kissing another woman. She calls a friend as she walks briskly towards her car. There's a malicious victory in her voice, as she confirms that Elena is a lesbian. The two women sit on a bench to talk about their situation. Peyton suggests they should stop seeing each other. She is concerned about the effect of their affair on Elena's family. Elena refuses to do so. She wants her to stay by her side while she fixes things. She just can't let Peyton go. But the thing is, Peyton has fallen for her deeply, and she wants Elena all to herself. But she feels guilty, knowing she has destroyed a family. And Elena's indecisiveness is not helping. Peyton is ready to let her go. She can't stay with Elena as her lover while the latter maintains the facade of a family. Elena is distraught. Seeing the look on Peyton's face, she realizes she's serious. She understands it should be her, and she alone, who must fix this mess. With a heavy heart, she walks away from her lover. Meanwhile, Millie is about to reach the Winters' house. She fixes her hair and makeup first, and then she walks proudly towards Barry. As expected, he doesn't take the news lightly. Millie hugs him to comfort him. But in truth, she revels in the fact that she has revealed Elena's secret. Barry is deeply upset. It's like all the things he knew have crumbled just like that. Even when he turns to his God, he can't find peace because he can't understand why his wife would do this to him. That night, he pleads with Elena, but it seems like it's too late for them. In the next scene, we see Elena walking to Barry inside the church, carrying a box containing his things. Then, she finally tells Barry that it's over for them. When he says this isn't the answer because Nash needs them, she argues back that their son needs the real them, not the people involved in this whole charade of a marriage. She finally admits to him that she hasn't been true to him and to herself all this time, that she was selfish when she first married him, even when she didn't love him. Now, she is following her heart, and there's no turning back. If she's still called selfish after that, so be it. 6 months have passed since the incident. Peyton seems to have moved on, but a coincidence will bring the past back into her life. While she and Wave take their walk in the park, they meet Nash and Tori. Just behind them is Elena, who is walking side by side with Tyler and his wife. Upon seeing Elena, memories flood Peyton's mind. She still loves her, and it seems the same can be said for Elena. She goes to Peyton for a hug, but Peyton finds out Elena is pregnant. Her happiness suddenly gets replaced with anger. She thinks Elena and Barry slept together after all. She accuses Elena of playing her, but before anything else happens, Elena faints. Later, Peyton deeply regrets her behavior toward Elena. But to her surprise, Nash arrives at her house. He tells her that his mother needs her. She wants to refuse, but the boy pleads with her. Sensing his sincerity, she finally comes with him, along with Wave. They drive towards Tyler's house, where everyone seems to be waiting for them, especially Elena. There, Elena explains the situation. She has divorced Barry, but her relationship with Peyton made her realize she still wanted to have a baby. Tyler contributed through IVF, and Elena got pregnant. She emphasizes that she and Barry never slept together while she was with Peyton. She also says that what she had with her was never a lie. It was the best thing that happened to her. Peyton cries as she apologizes for being hateful towards Elena. They still love each other after everything that has happened. The movie ends with Elena and Peyton playing with the healthy baby girl, surrounded by the people that matter to them.